So, Konami has finally released their long anticipated remake, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. Konami has teased this remake for quite a while now. I remember it made its debut, I believe, in the PlayStation like summer event thingy that happened a couple of years back. I believe it was, I think, 2023 or 2022, where they first unveiled the confirmation of a remake being made for Snake Eater. And I think around the time they also confirmed that there was going to be the Master Collection series, both Volume 1 and Volume 2, that were going to be released. Thankfully, we got Volume 1, but we're still waiting on Volume 2. And Konami, you better not mess up Volume 2, because MGS4 is a precious game to me, and I need that shit ported right now. I need the port now. I'm done relying with emulators to try to even play that game, or trying to buy a PlayStation 3 to play that game. I can't believe it's locked. Konami, what are you doing? Please just port it right now. Please, I'm begging you. But anyway, Konami, they recently released the remake to the very beloved Snake Eater, and my personal favorite action game of all time. I don't think I've talked that much about Metal Gear Solid on the channel, but for those who don't know, Snake Eater is, like I said, my favorite action game ever. I've played that game so many times. I've actually played it almost like, because I first played this game a couple years back, and I've made a playthrough almost every single year ever since that time. So I believe it's been 3 years since I first played it. So I've been playing the game every single year since then. Wow, that's a lot of playthroughs. Anyway, the thing is that Snake Eater is very precious to me. It's a game that's like both serious and unserious at the same time. You have so many memes that spawn from that game, like Ocelot meowing for some reason. It's never explained, by the way. It's just Ocelot being Ocelot, Snake being Snake, just doing the weird stuff with Eva and the way that he just completely rejects her in the beginning. There's just so many memes about it, just Snake being him. And also the very famous ladder scene in which the Snake Eater a cappella is playing in the background. It's just incredible. But yeah, Snake Eater is just a monumental game. It's an iconic masterpiece that really revolutionized a lot of just action games in general. I think the mechanics that it had, the entire like cure mechanic where you can cure your when you can cure your character whenever he's injured, or they won't able to recover if you don't cure them in time or treat their wounds and injuries, was very revolutionary back in the day. And also just the stealth mechanics applied to it as well. Like you could choose to not kill a single person in this game and complete the game, or you can go full on Rambo Savage mode and just like kill everybody at once, and just forget about the alerts and the evasions and just screw it, man. I'm not gonna sneak around. But there's just so many different ways to play the game, and they give you so many different gadgets to just improve your playstyle, which I honestly always found it to be just amazing and impressive. And without getting too deep into spoilers, the story is just pure on B movie action perfection. Kojima always wanted to make movies, but he was stuck with making video games. So he decided to make his video games into movies. And Snake Eater, I think, is just his best project in terms of trying to make a game a movie. Like, it's an interactive roller coaster of emotions. Sure, there's so many cutscenes that to the point that it's, just put your controller down, just watch the cutscenes. There might be a lot of yapping here and there. God knows, how my first playthrough of Snake Eater went. But just over time, it just grew in me. Cast is also just very memorable. Like, even the villains of the game have their own unique characteristics, and like their own, at times, very likable traits. Like, even the most despicable villains of this entire game, like Colonel Volgan and all the atrocities that he committed. There's just so many quotables from his lines of dialogue that you can't help but just admire how crazy this man is. But like I said, I don't want to dedicate this video explaining the entire lore of Snake Eater or MGS, because that would be like 50,000 videos, and I think there's a lot of content already on YouTube breaking down the lore timeline. I just want to make this video mainly reviewing what this remake adds on top of the original one, how it changes stuff, or does it even change that many things, and isn't even worth buying this version. So Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, it's a very interesting scenario where the remake is very faithful to its original source material, but maybe a little bit too faithful, because this game feels at times like a very nice polished remaster, very fancy remaster of the game that came out like 20 something years ago. Like, I genuinely can't really spot that much of a difference of what changes in the narrative. I know some people said that some codecs have some slight line changes, sort of, but not really, like the years. I think there is a codec call in which the paramedic talks to Snake, and they're talking about Godzilla because she's like a cinephile and she loves movies. And I think she mentions that they'll be making Godzilla films to like 2004, or in 2004, like, will win awards. And then they changed that line to 2024 to, I guess, match the 20 years later type of vibe. And also because I think it's perfect timing because Godzilla Minus Zero came out in 2023, so it's around the corner. But yeah, I think small changes like that are what really changed. And also, apparently, there is one area in the room in the game. I'm not going to specify because it's a bit of spoilers, but there is these posters that Kojima always loves to add in all these Metal Gear Solid games. It's like these Japanese models, and I think he changed those. I think Konami changed those posters to those models, like most recent pictures, or how they are now 20 years after, which I think is a very nice addition. I was like, damn, like, this looks a little bit too recent. Like, what the hell? So yeah, they specified that apparently it's like kind of like a before and after type of thing. So I kind of admired that. That was a pretty cool small detail changed. But yeah, overall, this game doesn't really change that much aside of the gameplay mechanics, sort of. But even then, it's not like a super huge night and day scenario for me, at least. What the remake offers in terms of gameplay is they give you two different styles. They give you New Style, which is a more modern take at the series. It has much more modern controls, probably similar to Metal Gear Solid 5. Obviously, not the same level of like stuff you can do in Metal Gear Solid 5, but the feel and movement feels a little bit like Metal Gear Solid 5. It's much more modern. There's no like, tank controls. You can, squat and like walk at the same time. You don't have to just, press that one button to squat, and then when you're moving, you have to go prone. That's not an issue anymore in this game. And you have the basic like L2 and R2 like aim and shoot mechanics that a modern game would have. It's basically just the introduction of like modern controls in a game that's 20 years old. That's really it. There's nothing much of a change that's like wowing in terms of that style. And Konami was also very generous to incorporate legacy style, which is the original way that the game functioned, the original Snake Eater. And I really appreciated that because of those camera angles. I know a lot of people hated those camera angles. I hated that camera angle when I first played the game, but it grew on me so many times because the amount of times I played the game. Because it gives you just so much to look at, and it kind of gives you this like arcadey feel. So I don't know. I kind of got accustomed to it. But the controls aren't the same. I don't know why they advertise it like it's the exact same as the original Snake Eater. It's really not. Like, they really changed how the like roll button is. I mean, how the roll button functions. I think it used to be X, where you can just press it once and you could roll, and you can just use that same button for being prone or just like squatting. So they definitely changed a couple of things in terms of that layout. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the camera angles, legacy style is basically the original one, which is a very nice touch, maybe for those who don't like that much the new style. And the new style also has some flaws, like in terms of going prone. When you're going prone, especially early in the game, it's a bit hard to see what the hell is going on the outside. If you want to see enemies or you want to like kind of tactically plan your next move, so it could be a little bit just distracting, especially when you're in first person, try to get a kill. And that was a little bit agitating. As I said, like in the first half of the game, to the point that I kind of switched to legacy style to see how, it would feel. But yeah, overall, like, new style isn't necessarily terrible; it just has some flaws. But again, depending on your preference, if you like that original camera angle, you can go with legacy style. If you like the more modern feel, you can definitely go with the new style. The game also seems to kind of hold your hand a bit more in this game than in the original. I remember when I played the original, I was super lost. I think everybody was lost when they were first playing Snake Eater, the original Snake Eater, or even Substance, because like the game kind of like lets you. The game kind of tells you that you need to be paying attention. Like any of the codecs, you need to be like writing down like the signals, the frequencies and stuff like that, so you could save or get tips and information or progress through the game. And they also make it abundantly clear that you need to be paying attention to the briefings, in terms of where you need to go, what you need to do, and stuff. Because again, like the original Snake Eater didn't really tell you, like the original Snake Eater wouldn't remind you stuff. It would be like you had to remember this, like write it down in a pen, like write it down on a notepad or something. But yeah, this game on the other hand, this Delta kind of keeps on reminding you and being like, hey, if you don't remember, that's okay. You can just go back to the tips, or you can use this map that we have, or this compass that'll point you the direction you need to go. It's a bit more accessible. It makes the game like 20 times easier than what it originally was. And I honestly don't mind it. I mean, I will say I found the game, like this overall game, to be like super, super, super easy compared to the different runs that I had with Substance in the original Steak Eater. Obviously, 'cause, again, it's like holding your hand. But there are moments where it's like I was like, I could take this on by myself. I don't necessarily need the tips. But the game would just be like, go to the options, go to the menu to see more tips. If you need help or you're dying at this point, go this, go that. And again, I don't necessarily hate that, but it's a little bit like, can you like leave me alone a little bit? Can you leave me alone? I know the game asks you like in the beginning if you want to turn off the tips, but I'm like, hey, this is a new version. I might not be, fully accustomed to it, so I want to know the information. But this game flats out gives you the answers, the stuff that like, you would want to think for yourself. So I don't know, just a little bit more of a personal preference. If you're not the type of gamer to want to be thinking of those type of things or use the critical thinking, it's okay. You can use whatever, because Konami just gives you so much information, so they make sure that you're on track into beating the game and having fun with it, which is completely fine. So I want to talk about the visual upgrade this game received. There are some people who are complaining about the ending cutscene of the game. Again, I'm not going to spoil anything, and how visually it looks like a little bit dry comparison to the original one. And for those people who are arguing about that, I would say, first of all, touch grass, because that's such a dumb thing to complain. And second of all, you can literally change the filters in this game. Like, Konami was very generous in terms of the customization that you can have with this remake. Like, if you don't like the controls, you can go to the control setting and put your own custom controls. Like, there's like different layouts that you can choose from too, and you can just put your own exact buttons and stuff like that if you don't like it. If you don't like the visuals, there's a filter list. You can put Legacy, which emulates the original look of the original game. I had that thing on for the majority of this game, because I was comparing from the new version to the Legacy, and I liked the Legacy more because it gave you that greenish feeling from the original. But the new style doesn't necessarily look that bad. It just looks more modern. It just looks much more like modern cinematic-esque, and that's completely fine. Because again, Delta's mission is to be a version of the game, a remake built from the ground up, to appeal to a new audience, to appeal to gamers who are not familiar with Metal Gear Solid or have not touched the original game because of its limitations, or maybe because the gameplay and the controls feel a little bit too wonky for modern audiences, which is completely fine. Again, it's something you can easily switch. There's nothing to really complain about. That's that much of a, crazy thing to think about. But aside of the filters that you can apply in this game, I think the 3D models that are rendered now are really, really damn good. Like, you could see like blemishes, you could see scars, you could see so many more details in here than you could in the original game. Obviously, some of the scars and stuff were present, but you could tell it's kind of like plastic in the original game. But in here, it feels like it's really part of the skin. It doesn't feel plastic, it doesn't feel blocky. It feels much more natural. So I props to the artists who designed this, because they really went all out on the design, especially Eva, in which I will not be detailing exactly what they changed of Eva, because I feel like you exactly know what I'm talking about. But yeah, they really went all out with the details. I believe that if you're if you get shot a bunch of times, I think the scars kind of like leave in your body as you play throughout the game. Your cuts, your bruises, anything, like, they remain on your body, especially depending on the type of camouflage that you put on, which I thought was very interesting and very cool. Also, all of your costumes and camouflage can stay on during cutscenes, which I thought was very cool and very funny, because I had some of the goofiest costumes in the most emotional moments of the game, and there were just parts I couldn't take that seriously because of it. But regardless, I think they did an amazing job with just letting you customize whatever the hell you wanted, and to make, probably the more definitive version of the game that you could possibly like offer. The thing that I really admire from this game, and I hope that other studios do as well, just that the way of them including the original voice lines, instead of just re-recording everything, because the cast is much older and their voices might not be the same pitch, the same way that it was originally. I think they did an amazing job with like just synchronizing the dialogue. I thought it was going to be a little bit choppy and weird. Maybe some scenes feel a little bit like off with the lines that are being said, but for the most part, Konami did a great job of just synchronizing all the lines. Like it feels pretty damn natural and pretty damn accurate to the original game. Um, and yeah, I just was kind of mind blown. I hope that other studios, like if they're having troubles with like trying to recreate the magic, they could take the original voice lines, obviously with consent from the voice actors, and apply it for their remakes to give it that like more faithful feeling. The thing that I was gonna say about New Style is that there are some parts in this game later on that are much more action heavy, that involve you shooting to multiple targets and stuff, that feel very awkward and choppy when you're kind of playing because like it has like auto aim, but like it's kind of like moving with a different like camera sequences. Like it's like going from the back, then it's going from the left, and it's going to the right, and it's going to the front because like you're seeing the cutscene, then you're trying to shoot, and then when you're shooting and aiming, it just cuts to him like shooting and aiming to the other enemies, but like very abruptly. So there are like some parts where I was like, this feels very janky and like much messier than I recalled in the original one. In terms of the performance of the game, I didn't find that many issues in my end, and I was playing like in balance with high settings, which I thought the game ran pretty well and it looked pretty damn well as well. Apparently, those who are playing on a PS5, even the Pro, have been reporting severe, massive frame drops, making the game almost unplayable at times, which is insane considering it's like supposed to be the more definitive version of the PlayStation 5 and just the hardware and stuff applied to it. But over here, at least for my PC, there wasn't anything super distracting. Maybe some frame drops, but even then, it's nothing unplayable. It was very slight. And I know that Unreal Engine 5 can be a very, hard to work games with and optimize, especially since this game is 100 gigabytes, worth of storage, which there's nothing in this game that justifies 100 gigabytes. I'm telling you right off the bat. It's not open world. It's single player. It's linear. It's like a 10-hour game at 10-hour, maybe 13-hour game at most. There's nothing that's justified that, that much storage needed. I think Expedition 33 was way less than this, and it's a much bigger game in comparison to. But yeah, I mean, I think optimization. I think in terms of optimizing, it might be an Unreal Engine 5 problem, which I know Konami is fixing because they were rolling out statements regarding the performance issues and stuff. So thankfully, they're already kind of getting there and fixing and dropping updates as soon as possible. One last thing before I wrap up this review, I was pretty interested with the changes they made in terms of the opening cutscene. They substituted the original Snake Eater with a new Snake version of Snake Eater, still featuring Cynthia Harrell, which is the original singer for the theme song. And man, it still sounds pretty damn good. Like, well, I don't personally prefer this over the original one, and I hope that Konami can maybe give me an option to put the original Snake Eater. That would be amazing. I still think this song within itself is still great. The performance is a bit more James Bond-esque. It's a bit slower than the original one, but the vocal ranges and just the performance in general is just still damn great. Like Cynthia still has it, even I think at 80 years old, if I'm not mistaken, which is still insane to have a voice that powerful at that age. So God bless that woman because her performance is still as great as ever. That's what I think about Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. It's not necessarily something that's like super huge of a change. It's kind of what you expected a remake to do. I kind of wish it added some more things to justify its pricing. Cause it's $70, and for a $70 remake, I'm like, they're probably gonna add some more interesting content. But it's mainly just quality of life changes that you expect, and some extra surprising customization features, and some small details like that. There's isn't something that huge to point that it's like, wow, this is mind blowing. It's the same game, and I kind of get it from Konami's side. They're trying to advertise it and trying to sell this to a new wave of MGS gamers and those who are trying to get into the series but are not huge fans of the controls and the maybe tanky type of feeling that the original games had, which is completely fine. I get it. I still love this game as always, and I think this version is good. It's pretty good. It's not fascinating, but it's a pretty good upgrade from the original Snake Eater. But yeah, what did you guys think about this game? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, turn notification bell on so you miss an upload from me. And yeah, see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody. And play Snake Eater.
A girl's gotta have some secrets,